so my bandwidth is terrible, so I'm avoiding the video to conserve bandwidth. Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet all of you.
Okay, you can start.
Roy, before we start, I think we're going to have to, number one, record in a second here. And number two, call the meeting, have someone call the meeting to order. Elect, are there 3 members there? I can't quite see, or 4 members? I don't know who's who.
3 members who are here.
3 members, okay. They should be identified for the record. I think last time we elected a chairman of the meeting, if I'm not mistaken, last year to conduct the business. So we'll start up in a second. The meeting will be called to order. If you can each announce your names as members of the Board of Assessment Appeals of the Town of Seymour. And then someone should make a motion, or I can introduce this, someone should make a motion to elect one of you as the chairman for purposes of the meeting. So if you're all set to go, Rory, whenever you're ready.
Whenever they're ready.
Okay. You folks ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, good evening. All right, good evening. This is March 11th, 2021. This is a meeting of the Board of Seymour Board of Assessment Appeals. For the members present, please identify themselves for the record.
Wendy Rossi, Chair.
I'm a shooting member. Sandra Gessick, member.
Guys, please remember to speak into the microphones. It's just a little hard to pick you up.
Ms. Ro-
Wendy Rossi, Chair.
And if the chair can announce the items on the agenda, call the items one at a time. I believe you have one individual ready at this point, I believe.
Can you hear me? Wendy
Yes.
Rossi, Chair. So do you want the agenda call, meaning call the meeting to order, pledge allegiance,
Okay.
election of officers?
Correct.
A meeting's full
So the
of
meeting-
order. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The election of officers is number 3 on the agenda.
Tom Schutte, I nominate Wendy Rossi to be chair for tonight's meeting. I second it.
And the person who moved and seconded, just announce your names for the record because we're recording on Zoom here, please.
Tom Schutte, nominate Wendy Rossi for chair for tonight's meeting.
Sandra Gessick,
Thank you.
second the motion.
And Wendy, you can ask if there are any other nominations.
Are there any-
Hearing none, just call the vote.
Are there any other nominations?
All indicate all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed and abstentions.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And
And then, Madam Chairman, you just have to announce the results, that it was 3 in favor, none opposed, no abstentions.
3 in favor, none opposed. All in favor.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna hear the first taxpayer, Kinneytown.
Mr. Carlson?
You're muted. There you go.
Yes, I'm unmuted. I'm struggling to hear from the floor. Could you repeat your question, or did you want me to do an introduction?
You can get
Mr.
started.
Carlson, the meetings. Yeah, the chairman just called on you for your presentation regarding your appeal. And if you could just indicate your name and address for the record, and then the floor is yours, sir.
Sure. My name is Tim Carlson. I represent Hydroland Corporation. And our corporate address is 403 Madison Avenue, Northeast, Bainbridge Island, Washington, 98110.
there? Are you going to present your case?
Yeah, so Mr. Carlson, now what you're supposed to do is present your case as to why you disagree with the assessment.
So this is interesting in that I've had a couple of discussions with legal counsel whom we inherited from the previous owner. And it doesn't appear that they are in attendance or have not been able to attend. I know that I was invited to this from Jim's invitation from his assistant, and I don't know where they're at. I live in the state of Washington, so I am not yet versed in all of the real estate laws and rules in the state of Connecticut. So I'm leaning pretty heavily on Jim at this point to catch us up, get us up to speed. As a point of background, we purchased this facility from the previous owner in December of last year and have been literally working through, and there are 13 facilities, and literally been working through just a host of issues. So I think that it probably would be a mistake for me to go into that conversation without Jim's assistance, because I would really have no useful information as it pertains to your situation or our situation as it relates to the laws of the state of Connecticut. While we were waiting for Evan to join, I was using my other phone to try and locate our attorney and have yet not been successful.
Okay, so we're gonna forego and then we won't hear your case then? Is that what you're trying to say?
I think so.
Madam
Yes.
Chairman, perhaps if you have other matters, maybe you want to put Mr. Carlson back in the waiting room, or Rory can put him back in the waiting room until his attorney, who apparently he's waiting for and should be here doing the presentation, according to Mr. Carlson, comes this evening. While you're assuming you have other matters to do.
Yeah, there is no one in the waiting room, and I will just let them in as they appear. But if they're speaking, I'll mute them as they come in.
And I'm gonna pick up my cell phone, so I'm gonna mute myself and begin the track down process again.
Yeah, Mr. Carlson, you're going to be put back in the waiting room, and you'll be called out of the waiting room by the chairman when she's ready to take up the case again shortly.
Okay, thank you.
So, yeah.
Yep. Matthew, right? Right. Okay. Hold on.
Oh. Do I have to stand up? Do you solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury? Oh,
Madam Chairman, if you could just announce for the record which matter you called, please, and then who this individual is that's just been sworn in for the recording. Thank you.
Ulterior tractor pulling, DBA, and Matthew.
And if you could indicate who you just swore in, who this gentleman is, please, for the record.
Matthew Ulterior. We'll do personal
Thank you.
property. Okay, we'll give you, everyone has 10 minutes.
Did you guys read it?
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know that I filled out a tax declaration, or my accountant did. It was filled out legally. The third time he just raised it for no reason. The tax declaration was filled out by the accountant, it was filled out legally, there's nothing hidden. And he just adds, when I asked the assessor why he raised it or what it is, he has no list of equipment, he has no reason, he just feels it's too low. That is his answer.
Well, I see that you didn't file.
I did file. Last year I did not file, I got a 20% penalty and I was willing to pay that because I did not file. This year it was filed and it was filed on time and my accountant handed it to him.
The farm was removed in 2020, right?
No, we're on personal property.
Yeah, that's what.
That's what my property is.
Oh,
Yeah, so,
that's for the arterial tractor pulling DBA.
yeah. You did not file for farm machinery?
I did file for everything. Everything was handed to me, it was all legal.
What date did you do that?
It was the last day, it was the day that it was due, I'm sure before you. I don't remember the exact date. There's a, I think it was November, I think it's due in November. It should have been filled up for 41,000. Now, whatever the 70% 41,000.
Okay, so we will, let you know on that then. You'll get a letter in the mail in 7 to 10 days.
So they don't review anything.
Mhm.
You guys have my tax declaration?
I have that you're in court, correct?
That's for previous years. And I've already beaten this twice, and now he's doing it the third time. The last time that I went to court with this man, the judge forced him to make a 3-year agreement with me because I've had so much issues with him in the past. As soon as the agreement's over, he's back to the same thing. Now this is harassment. The judge looked at it, he said, Joe, he said, he's paying tax on everything with license plates on it. I showed him receipts. He says, it's illegal what you're doing. He goes, now you're gonna make a 3-year agreement with him. We made a 3-year agreement on a certain amount. As soon as that was over, and I have to start filing again because the 3 years was over, it's back to the same thing happened. You ask him why he's adding, what he's adding,
Mm-hmm.
he just, because he thinks he's God. He's not God, he's the Seymour tax assessor. I own 12 different pieces of property. He does not know everything I own. If he feels to go fishing and hunt everything down, it's not my responsibility to show him everything I own. He works for the town of Seymour.
Well, personal property, you do have to
I
claim,
yes, but I own stuff out of state all over the place.
right, New York.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no personal property in New York. I own a leasing company in New York. I own a rental business in New York. And I can rent equipment and do all kinds of different things for paperwork.
You don't have a date though that you filed. You said that you filed on
I
time.
filed on the last date that the tax declaration was due. Whatever the date is, I don't remember the date. I believe it's November 14th. Whatever the date is on the bottom of it, it says if it's not filed on that date, there's a 20% penalty if it's not filed. Whatever that date was, it was for the.
Okay, so,
And I have it, I have it and it is stamped.
Do you have a copy of
If I
it?
have to go back to court with this, and I got more.
yeah, we're gonna
I'm
have,
telling you that I handed it in.
Do you have a copy?
Do you have
of
a
that?
copy with you right now?
No.
all right, so we're gonna move on with this one, because you have 10 minutes,
That's fine.
so you have 2, so we'll move on to the real estate.
Yeah, and if that goes, the house across the street from me, that's in good, did you guys look at the pictures? Did you review them?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, obviously you guys,
So,
you're not stupid, you know what you're looking at.
so on the field card, it says the house was green, but the pictures are red for the house.
Exactly,
So how is this the same house as what's on the field card?
that's my point. This guy just does what he wants. He doesn't even come out and look. He says he looks, and he doesn't. He says it's green, he says there's hardwood floors. I'm showing you the picture.
Does someone live there?
Sure, barely. The house is junk. Look at it. The foundation's falling down.
No,
The
I
roof
saw
is
it.
no good.
Does-
They want to throw him out of there.
Oh, someone lives there?
If somebody lives there, I own the property, they're not, they shouldn't even be living in it, the fire marshal wants them out, but I bought that property and I made an agreement that he could use the house. The house is junk. The
Mhm.
building lot's worth $100,000 is what it's worth. The barn that's on there and the building's worth 50. The house across the street that's in nice shape just sold for 205 3 weeks ago. It just sold. A beautiful house, a split level house. Paved driveway, I got no paved driveway, look at the driveway that's there.
I saw it.
The demolition is worth 60,000 if the house has to come down.
So you're renting this to someone?
Yeah, for $1 a month, because that's the agreement I made with the guy.
Mm.
The fire marshal's been there a handful of times. The health department, everybody, because legally, on paper, I rent that house to the guy. I can't just go in there and throw the guy out. That's his home. Okay, but unless
It's,
they remove him, that is what it is. But I'm not remodeling that house
Mhm.
for him to destroy it. Obviously, you could see in the pictures the way it's kept.
Well, yeah, that's, big time blight.
That
And
that's in the house.
That's, it doesn't look, it shouldn't be, it should be inhabitable right now.
Do me a favor, get them out. You guys could spend the money to get them out.
All right, so we will let you know in 7 to 10 days on what we decide. You got a letter in the mail.
Yep.
Okay?
Now,
And thank you so much for coming in.
Now, how do you guys do this? Do you guys look at comps for, to see what stuff's bringing, what's selling for?
That's on you to present. The burden of proof is on the taxpayer. You have to tell us why you think that your assessment is too high. So you have to
You can
present.
see that. You think that that house, and you would allow your kid to buy that house for that kind of
Right.
money? There
Okay.
you go. So they're gonna mail it?
Yeah, we'll send the letter out, right?
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh, there's people here. So we'll keep moving. Okay, so,
So you're 6:30.
Okay.
Late.
Put
What's
this
your name?
aside.
You're Anita? Oh, is your name Anita?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
That's okay. Are you on the 6:30 appointment?
Yes, I
Yeah,
am,
okay. So that's-
but I'm not the person who it's addressed to.
Oh, okay.
what's the filing under?
What's your name? Oh, that was the last one?
Yeah, that's the last one.
That's 6:30.
No, that's the last one. Mm-mm.
Anita again?
This is written in on the bottom.
Oh, that's gonna be good. She's 6:30.
Okay, so we'll hear you. So Anita Bloom is Elwig Bloom and Anita Bloom.
I just don't know who that is. So you have to swear her in. sign her.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh.
Whatever.
Do you solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury?
Hi. So what is your name? Say your
My
name.
name is Marie, Marie Kuntz, Kuntz. And the letter was addressed to Hellwig Bloom.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I don't know what to do either. I rent
So-
space here and you have to guide me.
So you have 10 minutes to tell us why you feel that your assessment is too high.
I don't even have a number for an assessment. This was the letter I was given.
Right, that's just the one so that, they come to the meeting. But, so did you have any backup to go with
Well,
whatever?
the thing that I have is I sublet a room in 276 Bank Street. My friend Kelly Urbanowitz, we're therapists.
Right.
And I got a letter, I don't know when, not that long ago. I never got one before. That's why I was really surprised about it. And it was, I don't remember, honestly, I don't remember what it said. But I know I followed up and appealed it because I know my colleague, she gave me all of this stuff all these, like you said, farm equipment and all this other stuff. I don't know. You can look at it if you want.
So I do believe that Anita does not have any personal equipment, personal property in her office.
Marie,
It
I'm
says,
Marie.
it says Anita on here. though.
That's the lady that owns the place. I'm
So
a renter.
you're renting from Anita?
I'm subletting from Kelly
I don't know who Kelly is.
Urbanowitz. That
Oh.
information is, that's what Kelly filled out. She gave me that.
So we're gonna do a minimum of $250 plus the penalty. So the change will be 300, the change is needed, it'll be $310. That's what I have. So that's what we decided on.
So is that Marie that has the personal property? Is Marie the personal property?
Yeah.
So I sublet this room for
Mhm.
2 days a week. And actually last year, because I'm older, as you see, since March 1st, I haven't been there. But I mean, I understand you have your rules. I'm just sharing information, that's all.
There must be a
So
motion
shouldn't
here
this
that-
have gone to the owner of the building?
Well, I think that the question is that they're saying that Marie has personal property there that I'm assuming that she's being taxed on.
Marie, you don't have personal property there, correct?
Just me when I go there.
Right.
What is it good for?
The thing that I gave you,
Mhm.
I use Kelly's space when I go, and her stuff.
What is it that you use the room for?
A therapy,
Oh,
mental health.
okay.
So there's no equipment or anything in that room that you use?
No,
Nothing at all?
there's no technology, there's no
Right,
telephone, there's no printer, there's a love seat, a couple of chairs, and a desk.
right. So that's why we're gonna do $250 plus penalty.
I don't know whatever you're saying is fine. I just wanted to say, I never got one of these letters before, and didn't know what
That's
to
what we're
come
gonna
with.
decide on. All right, thank you so much, Marie.
Yeah, so,
Thank you.
get a letter in the mail,
Yeah,
5 to 7 business days. I'll send a letter to your address.
Yes, but put it in my name, okay?
Are you at 17 Myron?
Yeah,
Okay, so we'll get a letter in the mail that lets you know what they decided regarding
Okay.
personal property rights.
all right, and you'll put it to me, not to Mr.
Yes,
Blue. Okay.
yes. I
Thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
New experience for me.
No problem.
Be safe.
Yeah.
You too now, take care.
Thank you.
Hi, what's your name?
Roxanne Stevens,
Stevens, she's at the bottom of the list too.
she colored her hair. I went go red.
Okay,
Go red? No, I was red, I was red.
Roxanne Stevens is gonna be next up, and you have 10 minutes to yeah.
Time to swear her in.
swear her in.
But at the end of the day, you're gonna have her memory. She's gonna be saying in her sleep.
Do you solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury?
I do. And I have these packets here.
So we'll do personal property first,
Yeah.
please.
Personal property consists of a old horse trailer and a flatbed trailer that is registered in Maine, but that we have here most of the year. And it's not, as a motor vehicle, and it obviously doesn't have a motor in it, but it should depreciate, not increase.
So we have that you did not file.
Yeah, I did file as a matter of fact.
All right, well, I have that you did not file last year. And it's gonna be $250, which is the minimum.
I sent it in, and everything was same as last year's. but-
So we did a horse trailer, he did 2 horse trailers, which was $500, plus the 25% penalty is gonna be $630.
There's only one horse trailer and a flatbed.
I show that you have 2.
Nope, there's only 2 trailers, that's it.
2 trailers.
Mhm.
Right, that's what I have.
Right, a
Two
horse
fifty.
trailer and a flatbed.
Right, which is $250 each,
Okay.
which is $500 plus the 25% penalty.
Mhm. Okay,
It's $630.
I will go through my records because it was sent in.
So that's what we're gonna go with then. So it would be no change for that. And then you're gonna do real estate, right?
Correct. The real estate is 136 Washington Avenue. What I gave to you is an Excel spreadsheet of multifamilies that are on that street as well as in other areas of the town. There is a problem with the field card. It says 5 bedrooms, it's only 4 bedrooms.
Okay, you would have to let the assessor know that then,
I'll do that.
please? Mhm.
And the reason why I'm here is if you look at it, and I've backed it up with the field cards here. And if you look at 130 Washington Avenue, which is a 4-family that has been redone, it's got more gross square footage and more living square feet. 16 rooms, I have 9, and you can see the appraised and assessed values there.
And how old are these houses? Because yours is 2005.
Those houses, according to field cards, I believe it says 1900, which is.
Right, so you're gonna be worth more than
It's
something
just
that's
a-
older.
I believe that's just a placeholder put into the field card.
This one's the 1810. 1890. 1900 is a placeholder, as we know. These are all a lot older than your house.
They've all, well, not all of them, but most of them
Yeah.
have had, I was gonna pull the building permit record, but I didn't have time.
So basically, you would need to give us like an appraisal
Mhm,
for a presentation.
Okay.
And this is not really helping with comps.
mhm.
An appraisal would be really what we would need.
Okay.
So there would be no change on your real estate.
No change whatsoever.
Right.
And even though it's,
You need a valid appraisal,
mhm.
so there's no change.
Okay. So I submit that to who?
I don't know if she submits anything, does she? There's
Not
really
for
nothing.
tonight, no.
She would still get a letter, right?
Yes, oh, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. In 7 to 10 days.
And I would assume that if your car's wrong about the 5 bedrooms.
Yeah,
definitely-
please.
Definitely see Joe.
Let
Okay.
me know.
Get that fixed.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll have the appraisal done and I'll send everything to him. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Take care.
Good to see you. How's your daughter doing?
She's coming home from college weekend.
I remember her when she was like this.
I know, bye.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Night.
Take care.
All right, so now what you can do is Kenny County's still holding.
Oh,
okay.
Status, fine, good, whatever. At this point in time. so
We can
we're
discuss.
assessing conduct, So we're not gonna do anything. until-
So we're gonna discuss this farm thing, right?
Yes, let's do
You
that.
can discuss Alterio, or you can discuss Roxanne, or the only thing you just have to let me know is.
So we can't decide on Alterio because they're in court. So that's what we're gonna say.
All right, so are we denying, you're going to?
No
deny-
change.
No change, so you're going to deny both these appeals,
The personal property is definitely a no change.
okay? So that's gonna be a deny, so all you have to do is, maybe not chair, but one of you has to say, you're going to deny the appeal, and then you're going to second the motion, and then that's your vote, it's going to be 3-0. On your, if you deny it, or if you decide to change it, then you say, Sandra says, I'm gonna change it to, 120,000, and he can say, okay, I agree. So you just have to make a motion.
I motion to,
Have one of them make a
I'm
motion.
doing the personal property for arterial tractor pulling. Personal property, no change.
Or, okay.
If you say no change, we're going to say deny.
Well, if you're going to do that, Madam Chairman, someone has to make the motion that there be no change to Mr. Alterio's personal property. Someone would have to second it, then you'd have to discuss it and vote on it, please.
He said he did file it, and he says he didn't.
So what do we do with something like that? Joe says that people didn't file, and now they're all telling me that they did file, so I'm in a pickle here. I don't know how to handle that.
Brian, did you hear that?
Yeah, you indicated that you do not, the town does not have a filing, but this gentleman indicates he did file.
Yes, a couple people said they did file.
Do they have any
I-
proof that they filed it? I mean, they're under oath to testify. Do they have copies of what they filed? Dates? Do they just mail it in, or do they actually file it in a timely manner?
Kind of said he did something for 3 years and then it got.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna do Alterio, personal property, no change. We're making a motion. Does anybody want to appeal, or what do you call the word?
You need a second.
Yeah, let's say Sandra says,
second
I
that.
motion to deny the personal property appeal, and then.
I'll second it.
I second it, and your motion is that you deny through.
Okay.
So Sandra, you'd have to make the motion first before it's seconded, please.
I don't know. I don't think we have enough information.
Well, he's got two. He's got personal property and he's got the real estate.
So which
Joe
one-
said we're in court. This is in court, so,
That's the personal property.
yeah, so. He
So
said
we
no
can't do
change.
anything about that one.
He said they didn't file, so that's the big key right there. If they didn't file, then there's no change. That's really what we're supposed to do. So I say no change.
On that one.
Yes.
But somebody has to make a
Okay,
motion.
I make a motion that we keep the assessment as is. Alterio Tractor Pulling LLC.
I'll second that motion.
And that was Sandra making the motion for the record, please.
Oh, yes.
You have to
Sandra.
say your names. Yeah, thank you.
Tom Shudy, I'll second that motion.
All right, so we're gonna deny the personal property, and what would you like to do?
I think you need, Madam Chairman, you need to have, see if there's any further discussion, then you need to have a vote and then announce the results on that motion.
Is there any further discussion? Sorry about that.
Oh, that's me.
No further discussion. Moving on to real estate for Matthew Alterio.
But Madam Chairman, I'm sorry, it's Brian Leclerc again. You have to call for the vote. All in favor of the motion to deny signify
All
by
in
saying
favor
aye and
for-
then announce the results.
Hold on.
Is this gonna be on YouTube?
Yes.
Yeah, that's really great. All in favor?
It would be, you, of the motion to deny signify by saying aye.
All in-
Aye.
I-
That's okay, this is gonna be good practice, next week we'll be ready.
And then, Madam Chairman, you'd have to announce the results that the motion passes unanimously, 3-0.
The motion passes unanimously, 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're going to-
So now we're gonna go to Matthew Alterio's real estate. He,
And perhaps Sandra, you should make a motion first and then have it seconded and then discuss it and then vote in that order. So someone should put a motion on the table, one way or the other.
To review this?
mhm.
What are we making a motion for?
Motion for what, Brian?
Well, some motion, you should have some kind of a motion and then discuss, a motion to deny it, a motion, whatever. Some motion to start talking about it. You need to have something on it to get it on the.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to discuss personal property at 63 Tibbetts Road.
Real estate, you mean.
You just did personal, real property.
Real estate, we do.
Real estate.
Well, you don't need a motion to discuss. In order to discuss, you need a motion to do something. So you probably should, you can move to deny, second, and discuss it, and then withdraw the motion if you all have a consensus that you should grant the appeal. Then you can have a new motion to approve it, or vice versa. You should have a motion to do something, though, one way or the other, before you start talking about it. Just because you moved for something doesn't mean you have to vote that way. That's just for discussion. So you can move to deny. It can be seconded. You can have a discussion and then realize you don't want to deny it. So you can withdraw the motion. The seconder could withdraw the second. Then you can move to grant the appeal in the taxpayer's favor and then second and vote on it. So if you follow that.
I'm gonna make a motion to discuss the real estate on Matthew Alterio,
That's what I just did.
right?
No.
Well, not to discuss. You should have a motion to either approve or deny the appeal, one or the other.
I think, Brian, really, that you guys haven't discussed.
Right. So I think that we, should keep this,
We're on the same guy right now.
this is the same guy.
You're doing his real property now. You just denied his
Right.
personal property
Yes,
for the business.
and there's no farm. There's no animals, there's no crop. So he's not,
But, but he's saying that somebody has gone up, the fire marshal has gone up, and why can't somebody do something about this?
well, that's blight, so that's a whole nother ballgame. So,
So he owns this house. No, is he the owner of this house, or is he,
yeah, he's renting it
he's renting it out?
for $1. So I make a motion to deny his appeal of the assessment.
I'll second that motion.
You gotta say your name.
Tom Schutte, I'll second that motion.
Okay, can we discuss?
Yeah.
So his house was assessed at 200.
286. Oh, 200, yeah, 200. Mhm.
I was thinking it should be lower.
We could say how much you want to lower it.
How much do you want to lower to the scene?
Sandy,
What's your,
what is your recommendation? Are we lower it to 150?
so what, yeah,
Assessed,
Appraised.
he's saying 105.
mhm.
I don't think it's worth 20,000.
How big is the property?
No, it's 1,000 square feet.
Yeah, but what about the property? How big is it? Mhm. Mhm.
Well, 1975.
Yeah. So I make a motion for him, his appraisal, his assessment would be 150,000. You guys in favor?
850,000.
Let's see, well,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lot is worth 100,000. House has to be at least 50,000.
You think the lot is worth 100?
That's what it says on here. That's why I'm saying 150,000. Because at least the house has got to be at 50,000. The lot is 100. What's the old one?
Does it, do we have the old assessment on here?
200,000 is all it says. No, just like that one. So we need a motion, right? Right, to see how we make a motion. The old assessment on Matthew Alterio Real Estate is 200,000. 200. Right, 200,
340.
right, 200,340, and I would like to bring it down to 150,000. You guys need a motion, right? I make a motion. Anybody second?
Second, Sandra.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
So that was done.
Okay.
Oops, someone's coming. Yeah, so Poots was all set, so we're gonna just have her do, that's the Anita Bloom one, right?
Yeah.
She's gonna be 6. She's gonna be, yeah, she's gonna be 250 plus the penalty, which is 310.
Madam Chairman, are you done with Alterio?
Yeah.
Yes.
If you could just announce the results of the vote, that I couldn't hear them, at least at my end with the audio. It was muffled.
Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you now. Why don't you just announce the result of the vote? I understood the motion was reduced to 150. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and that was moved and seconded and discussed. And what was the final vote? If you could just note that for the record.
All in favor.
Thank you.
So now we're gonna discuss the Hellwig Bloom and Anita Bloom. So she's gonna be at $310.
That's with the penalty.
That's 250 plus the penalty, yes.
And what was is there an old assessment or just kind of paid?
She said she had never gotten anything. But she's just subletting, so.
It says $360.
So you would think that the person she's subletting
Time up the
from would get this.
Who else do you need here?
Nothing on here, so just,
You're all set.
who seconds it, makes a motion discussion, all in favor?
We're all in favor. Any motions for Hellwig
Oh.
Bloom?
So Wendy, you're gonna make the motion?
I make the motion at $310.
Who wants to
I'll second that motion for $310.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, let me ask you a question before you go on to Roxanne. Would you like me to call Mr. Joel Brenner and see if he can?
And Madam Chairman, you have to announce, excuse me, I'm sorry again. You have to announce the results of that vote on the Bloom matter you just voted on.
So we're all in favor with the $310 for Anita Bloom.
Thank you.
Is he not picking things?
No.
Yeah, sure.
The old gentleman, older gentleman.
He's gonna be- Oh, that's the big one. Huh? What's that? Right there?
Yeah.
Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Yes, sir.
Right. Are you having a hard time hearing because there's a couple times that you said we had to that she had to announce the results, and she did. So I'm just wondering, are you picking this up?
You guys need to move the microphones closer.
Thanks, Roy.
We were getting muffled sounds. That's why I'm having you repeat it, because we just can't hear well all the time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Especially when two people talk or start to talk at the same time, you eliminate each other's voices somehow.
No change. He's in range.
I know, but most numbers.
Yeah, we think it's wrong. I think it should be 7,000.
Oh,
That's what we said last time.
Was he out there? Yeah, there's no. You gotta wait. Or you gotta do-
What are we doing?
Do you wanna wait for him or do you want? Oh, okay.
So we're going to discuss Roxanne Stevens. She did not file. She's got a $250 penalty. So there will be no change. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So
Madam Chairman, you need a motion and a second before you can vote. I didn't hear the second.
anybody second it?
I'll second.
And the motion was for no change, is my understanding, correct?
Motion, no change. All in favor, right?
And who seconded it for the record?
Tom Schutte? Tom Schutte seconds.
Thank you. And the vote, then all in favor, Madam Chairman, is that correct?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
3-0.
Thank you.
Sounds like a score. All right, what are we doing?
Now we're waiting for Mr. Brenner. Or no, wait.
We already did Roxanne, right? You're good with that?
Okay.
He only has real estate, right? Yeah. He has 2 or 1? No, that's Roxanne. We already did her.
Oh, we swapped it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's all right.
We can do this next week.
Sandra and Tom, could you guys just check that your microphones are on?
How about now?
Whoop, yep.
That's why there's a lot of feedback, Rory, so we're kind of not leaving all the mics on.
Okay, yeah, just when you guys speak, it's very little is being caught by the audio. So we need you to kind of slow it down and make sure that you turn your mics on if you're going to speak.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so we could keep them off right now.
Yes.
Madam Chairman, I think you have that gentleman from Hydroland Corp. Still in the waiting room. He was waiting for his attorney, I believe.
He is no longer in the waiting room.
Okay.
So what do we
Okay.
do when people don't show up for their appointments? Do we leave? How long do we wait though? Okay. So another hour. So who's the 7 o'clock? Right, so who's at 7? That's a 7 o'clock appointment, Zapos? Okay.
And did we have one for 21st Street?
Yeah. Yeah, together at 7 o'clock.
Oh, both of them together.
Was he sleeping?
So this is gonna be Mr. Brenner.
Okay. No change.
We just got it.
Okay. Do you solemnly swear? Look, do you solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God, or under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Okay, we're gonna hear Mr. Joseph Renner,
Yes.
and you will have 10 minutes to speak, sir.
10 minutes?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you very much
Mhm.
for the opportunity. This is my second trip here. And it's been going on for 20 years. So I have a lot of folders here. I'm scared with all those because I've reduced it to 1 page, and I'm going to give.
I'm sorry, if the applicant could speak into the microphone behind you, please.
So you'll have to go into that microphone behind you.
Okay, all right, let me get my files out. Before I speak, let me just get the distribution for you. These are extra pages for the basic reason that I'm here on the appeal. And this last one has letters to Kurt Miller and to Baker, which are examples of what I tried to do over the years to communicate with this town. So those are for your records, right? What these are extra.
Handwritten stuff, so we put it.
So can you hear me?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to take you through this 1 page, which is summarizing the points I've made here. And for the most part in writing to almost every department in this town about the situation. So why am I here? The assessments that I have received and the real market value of my property do not match. Okay? The assessment went up over 20 times, 2014 to 2015. Now it's been revised, but the new 2020 amount is still over 10 times 2014. So when I came and acquired this property, I was paying about $166 a year for the tax. Now my taxes are again 20 times that rate. The property is landlocked. There is no access. There are no buyers in 20 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I stood at this podium and swore the truth. I looked down at the chairman at the time. He had a map of the property and it was stamped not landlocked. That's absolutely not so. And so I can prove that. And more importantly, Mr. Rooker was the town planner. He gave me the town maps. He discussed this with me, what might have to be done if some buyer were to acquire the property 5.52 beautiful acres here. Now, I have explained the situation to lots of town staff. The assessor, of course, Joe Kuziak and I have talked about this and some of the staff. The prior first selectman, whose letter is in my package here, the land trust, I was trying to gift this property to the town of Seymour. The creative ideas we're trying to get rid of it, to the tax collector and the planning and zoning folks. The tax collector, if she is still the same, Dana Flock, is that still the same? She advised me to come to the selectmen's meeting and, speak during the normal, town hall report remarks. But I've spoken to all these important people, and so they know my situation. I believe the property was incorrectly evaluated from the very start. There are reasons for that. I got it at auction. It had been foreclosed. And for whatever reason, the gentleman who had bought it before paid $85,000 for it. He went into foreclosure. Okay. I got it at auction. Whoever first assessed this property must have only looked at what that price was and soon paid. The prior guy bought it, so this is what we'll put it at. It is landlocked. It has no access. It cannot sell. It has not sold. There has not been a single buyer in 20 years. The proof of this is in Ansonia. Mr. Frank Polinsky, who has worked with me tirelessly on that, talked to adjoining neighbors, abutting properties, all that sort of thing. Okay. He will tell you he's still in business there in real estate. I have recommended, for example, from the town of Wilton, where I am, the town is dying to put up cellular towers for the new communication requirements. Nobody wants them put in their backyard. But this is the perfect 5.52 acres. Nobody's abutting there. There's a packing house up on the other side of the road. It's isolated, okay? And or it could be a community facility, recreation site, or whatever. Okay, there exists no interest whatsoever in this town, by the way, or understanding from a developer standpoint, how you correct the problems. In other words, what variances, what sort of thing. I tried to sell it. The guy was a developer standing in for some woman in Bridgeport. And basically, he wasn't able to get any answers in the town either, okay? I need the assessment of this property to match its market value, which at one point, a couple of years ago, I said was zero, of course. On my last form that I submitted, I said, okay, let's say $10,000 at 70%, let's call it 7,000. I made a typo graphic handwriting here. I put 70,000. I hope everyone realizes that's my mistake, proving once again that the leader is here. So what I'm asking you ladies and gentlemen to consider kindly, respectfully, is a search for a creative solution. This includes Rory Burke. I have talked to him many times and visited him, tried to follow up in the selectmen's office, the prior person, Mr. Kurt Miller. Okay. I believe when people ask Joe, what can we do for you? Let's find a solution. I'm going to leave this to my grandchildren, you know, a couple of $1,000 for what? They're hours away. Okay. And this is going to follow us into perpetuity. So now, that's what I'm asking you to do. Kindly look at this one page, the stream of events. And, you know, of course, I'm available anytime, hopefully not at 8 o'clock at night, okay? But basically, and then look at the history. It was obviously misassessed. Okay, it went from $1,000 to $3,000 to $4,000, back to $2,700, and up to $85,000. Yeah, you know that something's wrong there. Okay, so now, kindly understand, it is landlocked. People have told that to developers who have come into town to try to find it, and it has no market value. Is there anything that I have said that I could clarify at this point? But thank you for your kind attention. Questions at all?
Yes, sir. It's Wendy. So with all due respect, all these years you've had problems with the assessment, correct?
Yes.
So if you've had problems over the years and it's the same problem every year, why isn't this getting corrected? Obviously, the assessor is not agreeing with what you are complaining or not agreeing with him. And he's also saying it's not landlocked. That's what I was recommended.
Well, you know, I've already sworn to tell the truth.
I understand.
And the last time I was here was critical because when this argument, I stood there. I was standing. There was a gentleman who swore me in your seat there. Okay. I looked down. I was shocked. It was in my presentation. I asked, why not later? Why don't you walk down the hall and ask Mr. Looker what the situation is? So that's to answer your question as kindly as I can. Yes, of course it has come down. It's been reevaluated. It's heading toward what it should be.
Okay, so
the answer is Kuziak knows that clearly.
So the other
Yes,
the other factor that he uses is a ratio testing method. And there's a range between 63% and 77%. He takes his assessment and he divides it out by, it's two figures. He divides it out and it comes down to a range. So he's in the range where he needs to be at the assessment right now. That's how he comes up with his assessment.
Well, has he ever seen the property?
Sir, I don't know.
No.
I'm going by what
contend
I
that
have.
No one saw the property for long, and the reason was, it's landlocked. Nobody knew what was happening. It wasn't even called 19 Shady Road when I acquired it. It was called lot number 10, because that was the auction lot, not the property.
I understand. So,
No, okay, well, so much. Anyway, thank you.
thank you.
I'm going to ask you to do one thing. Please look at my cover sheet. Please call me if it needs clarification. I'm grateful for this opportunity. I know how busy you all are with lots of other important things, and I'm sure you realize so also are we. I don't want my 12-year-old grandson, to get coupons twice a year for something that his grandfather bought at auction. Okay, and then basically wonder what it is and what can we do with it. Frank Polinski in Ansonia, okay, understands this because he actually went to the abutting neighbors. I'm finished. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, okay, I'm just saying, we tried everything we could.
Mhm.
How about gifting it to the town? Of course, I explored that possibility. The town doesn't want it. They say, Joe, get a survey that costs $5,000 to $10,000. Cut down all those trees. What? I'm trying to gift it to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we will send you a letter in about a week.
Yeah, there's no very nice way to talk.
That's our
It
protocol,
started
sir.
in 1993.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Caroline. You know, guys don't know how to get me. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It's okay.
So Rory, it's Wendy. Do we have too many people in the room? Because I know there's a COVID issue with that.
Yeah, we're asking that the applicants, how many people are in the room?
There's 6 people waiting, 5 people. Well, 1 is leaving, so there'll be 5. Besides all of us.
You're probably okay as they go around. I think you're all right.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you guys tell us who you are? Because we have appointments here, so we want to go by whoever appointment is next.
We're 7 o'clock.
Anybody else?
7:20.
Okay.
7:50.
Okay.
7:10. These were public.
Okay, so 7. And who are you, sir?
My name is George Zuckles, Seymour Pizza House, and Seymour Trust.
Okay, hold on. Yep. So are you gonna do personal property first?
Yes.
Sandra.
Oh.
Both of us.
Do you solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury?
I do.
Okay, so this is Seymour Pizza Palace, Seymour Trust,
13, Seymour Pizza House
Right.
is the personal property.
right? So we'll hear the personal property first.
Sure. My name is George Zuckles, I'm an attorney from Middlebury, Connecticut. And to my right is James Zuckles, who's the owner of Seymour Pizza Palace, who owns, is the corporation for the Palace. And basically, we filed a timely personal property return as they've done over the last 50 years. And this year they were assessed the penalty. We're not sure why, and we're not getting the penalty because it was time.
I have here you filed late, so that's why you have a penalty.
It's filed 50 years. We know what
That's what I have here.
was my Seymour Trust one.
And it's the personal property
Yeah,
one,
they're all filed on the same day.
right? Yep, February 19th. That's what it was stamped.
Well, it's November, it was due November 1st.
Oh,
So this says November 10th. Maybe that was a mistake.
Well, they were, you're asking if that time you filed, we're not
Yeah,
sure.
I
when
gotta have
it's
3
in.
or 4 of them. I filed them all at the same time.
It says that you filed late.
Do you have any?
And he's using your numbers.
Yeah, our numbers, we're not complaining about the numbers, we're complaining about the penalty because it was timely filed. They
So-
got it, so I'm not sure how you filed it.
Basically, when you have a penalty, it's because you filed late. So there won't be a change on the personal property.
Yeah, they filed them all the same day.
So how could we like?
That's what I have here.
How did you file? Did you bring them in?
Do you have any proof that you have, that,
Do you have any copies?
yeah, because that's what we need. If
of
you
the-
don't
of
have
the
it,
file?
then we just have to go with no change.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't, I
Okay,
gave them all the same day.
yeah, then that's what we have to go with then.
What he's asking to look at is his other personal property, filed with that one, and it's his testimony today that he filed them all on the same day.
I have 48 Main Street for the personal property.
There, you wouldn't have it, we didn't appeal the other ones, but what's the other ones?
2 Main Street, 115 Main Street, 21st Street.
We just have 20, that's for the real estate, so we're gonna do no change for the personal property. then.
Can you look at when those other ones were filed? I mean, you may not have it there, but we just asked you to look at them, and he's testifying that they were all filed. So there must have been some kind of mistake somewhere.
Near the office. Maybe they made a mistake or.
Either they're all filed, but it's part of it. We don't know, all we know is they were filed on the file.
I only have 48 Main Street, and then I have 21st Street. So I really,
We didn't appeal the other ones because they didn't have the penalty for those. He's testifying that he filed a personal tax return on 5 entities at the same time. 4 of them, no penalty, 1 of them, the penalty. He's saying they were filed together. It can't be a penalty because it has to be filed together. He filed them together.
Again,
oh, in other words, all 5 of them
Yes,
shouldn't have the penalty because they were filed together.
no, the other ones do not have. Just
So 48 is the penalty.
Correct.
Right. So you're saying that it was filed with the other 4,
Right.
and this should have a penalty because they were all filed together.
Correct.
Gotcha.
And we didn't know what the problem was, so that's why we're here. But we're just asking you not to just deny it. Look at the other ones and see what they were filed.
So you shouldn't be paying a penalty is what you're saying.
Correct. Because it was timely filed. He's filed them for 50 years. Not James.
Okay. So we will look into that and,
All right.
all right, is that fair?
That is. It's filed 5.
I got it.
I didn't give him the address.
Okay, so 21st Street, this is gonna be your first, or your real estate, and you're saying that the assessment's too high?
Correct. If I may.
Go for it.
Pardon me? Oh, okay.
Sorry. That was-
Yes. So basically, 21st Street was acquired on June 12th, 2019. And basically, 21st Street was, let me back up. In March 14, 2018, Seymour Trust Company purchased 115 Main Street for $440,000. Included in that purchase price was a 99-year lease for 21st Street. So they had the right to use 21st Street for 99 years and was paying a rent to the owner of 21st Street. So in 2019, Seymour Trust purchased the fee from the woman who owned the property so that for $24,000, because it had no value because it was part of the 115 Main Street complex. So as a result, right now they're 2 separate parcels. We're intending to merge the 2 in the near future, but the assessment of $134,120 is excessive. I mean, the purchase was done after the reval, but it still shows that that property by itself isn't worth $134,120 assessed value. When the purchase price a few years later was $24,000 because it was part of the 115 Main Street. So we're only appealing the 21st Street.
Right.
Because it was part of the 115 Main Street, and it's excessive for the fee because it was filed by the 99-year lease.
the 24,000 is an invalid sale. So this is one deed that we have on the plot plan. You have that, number 20? You see that on here? It's one big plot. It has the building on it. Do you realize the building is on that?
Yeah, like half a building. It's connected to 115.
Yes, they're connected, and that's why there was a 99-year lease. So technically, the 99-year lease makes that as if it's one parcel with 115 Main Street. So when he paid 440,000, he had acquired the right to use 21st Street for 99 years. So that was part of the purchase price. So they were paying the woman, I don't recall what the
$1,500 a year.
$1,500 a year for that parcel to use. So he purchased it just because of her age and all, so she sold it to him for 24,000. So because it was part of that other property, because it named the usage with that other property. So it's a little confusing because it's not the typical thing, but so we're just asking that you bring that value down to somewhere close to the 24,000, because it had no value, because the right to collect $1,500 a year for, I don't know how many years is left, at least 38 more years was nominal, it's worthless. So not worthless, but it's worth $24,000 because that's what she ended up ultimately selling. And it was the same at the time of the revaluation.
So you're saying it's worth 24,000, the building and everything?
The building is part of the 115 Main Street because they had a lease for 99 years.
Yeah, but that's not shown on the plot plan.
What is 117 through 121 Main?
That's the old Isaacson's.
So this lot is behind Isaacson's.
This lot, you know, the drive-through is?
Yeah.
The Seymour Trust drive-through? Okay, so half of that drive-through and half of that building is this part,
So, which is 20.
21st Street.
So a building and a parking lot is only worth 24,000, you're saying?
Because the value of it was part of the 115 that we bought originally.
Because they didn't have the right to, she couldn't sell it. Who would pay anything to get the right to collect $1,500 for the next 38 years? Would you pay $30,000 for that right?
See, I'm showing that this is 24,000 is an invalid sale.
Can you look at this map?
Because this is where,
If you just have to not look at what, that building itself is the building, but it was encumbered, so if you
Yeah.
give
So,
someone the
yeah,
right
so,
to.
you know, the drive-through, you know, did you ever use that thing?
yes.
Okay, you know, when you would drive
And
in,
so you go in this
it's the
way.
part, yeah, the first
So
part where
this
you
is
drive
just
in.
even, this whole picture, kind of. This
It's
is
this
the
part,
building.
this part right here, that's it.
But this is Isaacson's.
So this is the Seymour Trust building. The building we bought, when we purchased 115, it was everything included.
Because they have the
That
lease.
and that. But the lease on this, goes way back so this person could never sell that property for another 38 years because there's a lease. It was a 99-year lease that the bank got, and they did it 50 some years ago. They did it $1,500 with no increase. So the bank got the deal on it, whatever deal they made back then. So Barbara Chris inherited from her dad, and she got stuck with it. So, and she couldn't, you know, she can't sell it, can't sell half a building.
Well, you could sell it, but she would be selling the right to collect $1,500 for the next
Yeah,
30 years.
$1,500.
So that's why there's no value there, because the building is stuck, is bound by this lease. And all the value is in the lease, which is inherent in the 115 Main Street. So that value of 115 Main Street includes the value of the lease to use that property, 21st Street.
I just have to go by what the assessor recommends, and he said $24,000 is not a valid sale.
But you're not listening to what we're saying.
I understand that, but that's what I have on paper as far as, you know, the plot plan goes and everything. But that sounds like something that has to be, you know, you have to go and have that changed, I'm assuming.
Well, there's nothing that needs to change. I mean, we're gonna merge the two properties.
Right.
That's revalue will be merged. So we're just talking about this 1 year. I mean, we don't want to take it to court for one families, but it is substantial enough where we would have to. I mean, we did appeal 115 Main Street and we resolved that with the town. But for 1 year of benefit, I mean, you would have to hire counsel, who I see in the.
Right.
So I can say hello to them. But basically, we're just asking for you to just look at the whole picture, just not look at what you're seeing, that one piece of property and say that $24,000 sale is invalid. It's not invalid. That's what that property was worth based on having a lease of collecting $1,500 a month on a year for the next 38 years. That's all it's worth. So it's simple. I mean, you can't just look at the structure because the structure it does not have value. If you were able to rent it out for $50,000 a year, then yes, I agree with you. This assessment that, but it's not. It was bound by a lease. The lease is on the land record. It's there. It diminishes value. That's how you determine value. You look at what the income stream is. If the income stream is $1,500 a year, that $24,000 is a legitimate sale. So.
All right, well, we'd have to let you know.
No, I appreciate it. No, I understand that. Is it a question?
Yeah.
So you're only questioning the 2600s. There are three things here. Land, building, and outbuilding. Is that the outbuilding?
It's on the field card.
One was assessed at 41,000, one at 90,000,
Mm-hmm.
and one at 600.
Yeah, but all that was used again in 115, so the value is built into 115 because of that. So.
This is on the 21st Street, though.
Correct, but it still was subject, that whole parcel was subject to that $1,500 a year lease. Because that's when the bank did a deal with this woman, they probably gave her, or the father gave up upfront money to have a $1,500 a year lease.
Because you're not appealing the 115 Main Street.
No,
It's done. Right.
This says 48 Main Street.
No, there's two appeals on there. That was the first. Personal property.
What was the result of?
What was the result of the court 3 times?
What was the result of 115?
We were gonna ask probably for 3,000 less, and then we ended up.
We settled it with the city. We worked it out.
Okay. The judge ruled in our
No,
favor.
the judge didn't rule. We resolved it.
Heard what?
The only reason why I'm asking is you're bringing this up, and that was prior to me sitting here, and I'm just trying to.
Yeah,
I'm trying to decipher.
21st Street.
Yeah, no, we appealed that one. We went to court and we resolved it. We settled on a figure.
Okay.
So,
But I don't have a.
and that was what happened.
Okay.
As opposed to trying the business and everything. So.
No, yeah, as I said, I'm just trying to get,
No,
you're
I
bringing up past stuff in the past, and I'm trying to get to, where we are to, to
Yeah,
where
so
we're
next
discussing
year
now.
when we merge the two properties, you're gonna see the assessment will change because it shouldn't change at all because it's not adding any value by merging 21st Street to 115. It's gonna be the same value because it's already built in 115. So we didn't own it before, so it works when it works.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, so we will decide and we will let you know by mail in a week or so.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, so we're gonna move on. Okay, so that was the 7 o'clock, 7:10 is next. And what's your name, please?
Chris Buckman.
Chris Buckman. Okay. Oh, okay, Chris.
You said I was gonna have this memorized.
Chris Buckman is next up. Yep.
You solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, or upon penalty of perjury.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris, you're gonna talk about your personal property?
Yeah, so I have, 8, antique unregistered vehicles on my property. So in 2008, Connecticut, allowed unregistered vehicles to fall under the $500 max assessment limit.
Right.
The assessor never asked for any more documentation they wanted. They're all over 25 years old and close to 30 or even 40. And from that, that's what I got.
Okay, so the zoning enforcement officer was out there in 2019 and he found 15 vehicles.
Yeah, I have 6 registered vehicles. And then I got rid of one from the property, last year.
Have any of these been altered or modified?
No. Registration tax payment. So those show up as, so there's 8 on the property that are unregistered, and then that's what comes under the personal property tax.
So there's
The
not.
other 6 that are on the property are registered and I already paid property tax on it, so they're not included in this.
So 6 registered and
8 unregistered.
8 unregistered. Okay, and the 6 you pay card taxes on.
I already paid property tax on those.
Yeah. So the 8 unregistered.
So it's $500. That would be the minimum for each car.
Yeah.
I make a motion. 500, are you in agreement?
I'll second that motion. Tom Judy, I'll second that motion.
Yeah, are you in favor?
Yeah.
Okay, so we all are in favor, 3-0 to lower his assessment to 500 each, correct?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So you'll also get a letter in the mail in about a week.
All right. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in. Okay, who's next up?
720.
And what is your name, please?
My name is Doug Mylone.
Doug Mylone. Okay. So you will be sworn in by Sandy.
Oh. Do you solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury?
Yes, I do. Okay, let me start by saying, I've been a Seymour resident for the past 53 years. My wife is 3rd generation born and raised in Seymour. And we've lived at this address since 1976, 43 years. 40 years. And I've always paid my taxes. I got this assessment reevaluation in November. I couldn't believe how much they raised from the old assessment to the new assessment, close to $40,000 of an increase. So I'm here to plead my case and say, I don't feel, judging by the value of the homes on the street, are far less than mine. And it's just not the ballpark. That's all.
Do you have an appraisal that you could show proof that you are saying that we are wrong?
Wrong? No, I only have the assessment. I don't
Yeah,
have
you would have to,
appraisal.
you would have to present an appraisal of some sort.
No, I.
We don't
took it upon
understand how-
Myself to look it up,
We
just to
don't,
get an idea. It's not concrete. It's just an idea of what the homes are listed for
Mhm.
on the air, in the area. So you can disregard that too. There's no appraisal.
because that's what we would need for you to say that you are not agreeing with the assessment, because we don't understand where you came up with 210,000.
I'm sorry. Well, I don't have an appraisal to say. You mean an appraisal on my home?
Yes,
I didn't even think that would be required. Had I been here.
because you need to show us proof. The burden of proof is on the taxpayer to say why you think we're too high. So you have to show us why we are too high.
Well, first of all, why the tremendous increase?
I
We did
understand.
some renovation, but all I did was repair.
I understand.
We had to fix the kitchen, the bathroom, and we did some stuff, and everything that's being taxed on this assessment is based on permits, which I feel is unfair.
Well, a permit is for safety reasons. That's a whole nother ballgame, because the town needs permits when you do any renovation. So that's, yeah, so that's gonna trigger them to say, hey, you're doing work in your house. And that's how they know that they're gonna come out and look at what you've done, because you've done upgrades. So the permits are a must, as we know. That's a whole nother ballgame, but to me, you have to show proof why you think that we're wrong, and you kind of really didn't do that.
I'm
So
unprepared to show you.
I understand.
So is there a next step that I can have that at another time?
Not that I know of. I know that if there's no change, then it's gonna stay where it is. Because you have to tell us why you think and show proof, like I said. That's usually how it works.
Looking to lower that.
I
assessment
understand.
Because I don't feel it was fairly
Mhm.
done, and I feel that
Everybody's going up. Most everybody has gone up. Real estate is going up tremendously in Connecticut. We all know that. And it's obviously, there's a demand right now. So we've all felt the crunch right now. And it's not anything that you're assessed at 191,000.
that's what
And your house
it
was.
was 153. So I got this.
Uh-huh.
I just not have to spend my whole life. Paying taxes.
We all pay our taxes and we've all lived here.
Well,
I understand.
I'm here to pay my taxes.
I understand.
Nothing you can do, there's nothing you can do.
Yes. So, yeah, so you can't show us why, so we don't understand where the 210 came in. You can't really show us proof of that.
I don't have to praise it.
Right, that would be,
If I knew I needed it before I came here. I would.
right, most people don't really know, so it's not any fault of anybody, but that's a big plus if you had that.
That's all I have to say.
Okay, so you'll be getting a letter in about a week. And thank you for coming in.
Thank you for your time. Just one more question.
Sure.
You know, no rates, no change.
That we don't know.
We know that.
No,
Not yet. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna move on. Okay, who's next, please? 7:30. You're 10 up. And what are you?
Okay.
And what is your name, please? Carol Sapneski is next, and she will be sworn in by Sandy.
You solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, or upon penalty of perjury.
Okay, Carol, we're gonna do the real estate first, please. Yes.
I just have evidence here why I think it's excessive. The assessments of people right next door, right across the street, all around the neighborhood. And if you saw that, it says mine went up 11.8%, the others were half, 1%, 2.8. I know you look at square footage, there's not that much difference.
I do have an appraisal, I didn't realize.
All right.
Is this for,
It's weird.
okay, you want to put that with yours?
Excuse me, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to get a copy of it.
I don't have a copier. You want to take it back then?
No, that's, I mean, is that equitable for what we're talking about?
This is not a formal appraisal though, like, yeah, so I don't think this will work.
Sorry to interrupt.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
is this mine that's,
Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so I was comparing it to the percentages of the whole assessment. I know houses went up and land went down. I didn't know if I was just supposed to do houses or land, but I did the whole thing. Somebody told me you should try to find something with the same square footage. So 2 Buckingham Road, which is just two houses up, they are basically the same square footage of 2,300 of living space. And their house, I did house, is assessed at 207, and my house is assessed at 222. So there's quite a bit of difference there.
So basically, you're gonna probably not have a change because you're in the correct range, because if you look on the field card, your grade of your house is average plus 10. Average is average, but yours is plus 10, which means yours is a lot nicer than people along your same type of Cape Cod house that you have. And the way he figures out, he has 2 figures that he uses and he divides them. And he comes up with a percentage, and the percentage would be in the range of 63% and 77%. And it's called a ratio testing method. And this is what he goes by. So when he does the calculation, you're in the range. So you're assessed perfectly.
Yeah. Okay, another thing, I didn't put it on here, but I'll give it to you now. If you look at the field card, and you have the field card in front of you, for some reason, again, they never explain it. When you look on the back for functional obsolescence, we always had a 5, and it was changed to a 3. And that means you're inside of your house and absolutely nothing has been changed. So I don't know why they do stuff like that.
So that's something that you need to take up with them at a later date and have it changed. If you, whoever does this field card stuff, probably the assessor, I don't know.
Well, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, you would have to tell him that.
You would or I would?
You would, because this is your field card. So you're saying that obsolescence is a 3 and that shouldn't be?
Right.
And what are you saying it should be?
Well, 5, what it was.
So
I'm not sure who changes that.
I'm assuming the assessor, but I don't know. That's beyond my scope of knowledge.
Okay, so I can't ask the board to speak to the assessor and say you'd like it back to a 5?
I don't know that answer.
Well, they've done in the past. I'm kind of confused about this year. Because
Yeah.
I've been before assessments before,
Mhm.
and they go, okay,
Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys know?
because he's gonna tell me, go appeal it. That's what I get from him. That's why I need the Board of Appeals to adjust it.
I don't have a note on there about that though.
I have it written. I didn't include it because I didn't realize that.
No, but I mean, through what he has put in, he didn't put any notes about it regarding it.
but you got that from him.
And I got this in my field card.
Oh,
Yeah, it says 3 and you want it to be a 5.
Right. So I have 2019 and the 2020,
Mhm.
they took it off. And he took it off, I don't know who took it off, I don't know who does this. But I know if I go to him, he's gonna go, you have to appeal it.
How about if we,
Why don't you take it and show them?
I have it,
Yeah, you don't have this. I don't, oh, do you?
I do,
Do you have last year's to compare?
I don't.
You want last year's? I got it right here.
I would just like to,
But he can look at it, you know, when he goes into his file.
yeah, I don't know anything about this.
All right, so I'd like to go from back to 5. We have no idea. Functional means inside your house, nothing has changed. We have a tandem room, it's still a tandem room. We have water in the basement. I'm just saying what they did for years and years and years. I wasn't gonna bring in from 2010 and 2005 and 2000.
Okay.
That was from the last,
This particular one, so you can compare, but if I went back,
that's
I
from
can,
5 years ago.
yes. I can keep going back.
Did they go inside your house when they assessed it?
No. This year, 2020, no.
So it changed from last year?
Yeah,
5 years ago.
5 years ago. Well, yeah, I go
The last.
5 years, the last time it
So,
was assessed. It had
Did they
a
go in your house 5 years ago?
It has a tandem room, and it has water in the basement, and we're on ledge. And if you see the front, I do have the front of us.
Yes.
facing, and it says tandem room, when you look at,
Yep, I see it.
fireplace, well, wait a minute, I'm wrong.
Under
It
notes.
say why they put that, why they have that.
What's that?
They put that there as to why they have the number. And it's still on there, so. I don't know if somebody hits a wrong number,
I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm sorry.
but I thank you for looking into that.
So this assessment is correct. In other words, the value that he has for your assessment is in range. So that's going to stay where it's at. Because like I said, he does his calculation with the rating method, and you're at 76.7%. So you're in the range. You're 63, this range is 63% to 77%. You're right in range. That's what he calculated out. So that's-
To find things that you compare them to, that's what I was told, to find alike properties and do a comparison.
He said that we would need something substantial like an appraisal.
Yeah, when you say that, this for next time, because I've done this before and I've
Mhm.
never been told that. They,
Okay.
as an appeal board, they look at it and they
Mhm.
decide what they think is best.
Right.
But just for next time, appraisal meeting, I gotta spend $3,000.
That's what he said.
For an appraisal,
Mhm.
that if they find that the appraisal goes with the appraisal, do we get our money back, $3,000?
I don't think so, but
Does that seem right to you?
I'm just.
I think that's something that really needs.
Maybe you should call him tomorrow
He
because
doesn't talk. I don't know. He doesn't talk. He just says, I don't have to. Let's make help. I've been trying to. And our next one you'll think. I didn't go to him on this
okay.
because our other situation is much more closer to home.
Okay, so we're gonna stay with where we're at then with the
Okay. I mean, I don't agree, but you're
Real
the
estate.
appeals board and
all in favor. You guys want to make a motion? How do you want to vote that?
but look, please look into the.
Yes, I wrote it down.
Oh, thank you.
This one. We'll do this after this.
Okay, she's gonna do her personal property now.
Yeah, so hold off even on voting because if it goes to the 5, it does change the number,
Okay,
okay? And it's a percentage, it's a depreciation thing.
okay, so now you're gonna do your
Okay.
personal property.
Okay, now is for 29 Greenville Road. Okay.
Yes,
This is a much more serious thing.
yes.
I am representing my whole family. For a quick review, we have had the farm for 3 generations. My grandparents were here in 1930s. My parents and all my relatives, and we're into this, cousins and all that owning the property.
Mhm.
Okay, so what I want to show you tonight, and hope you got all my documentation from the state of Connecticut in the statutes, is that the state of Connecticut, from reading that, we find the assessor is in error when he has taken off the farm classification.
Mhm.
Okay, so documentation. What I've included, I hope you reviewed that already. And the first thing I also included was his letter to us claiming he's taking it off. It was very confusing when he said the 20 acres as Connecticut State Statute 107C. I found it. And it says, failure to file an application for classification of land as farmland within the time limit prescribed. We weren't even applying, so we're not even sure where that came from or what he's talking about. So if I didn't include it, I'll give you this or make a copy. So we're confused about that. The next one shows when the letter came in October.
Yeah.
We went to him
Okay.
and we said, it's being paid yet. All we got from him is, I don't care, appeal it. That's all he said. I said, why don't you come on up? The farmer is there, Mr. Hazy is there. I don't care. What can I do? I have to appeal it. So that's why I put that there. I tried to have conversations with him. He did not want to know anything. Okay, you go to the next one. This is again from the Connecticut statutes. It says, any such land which has been classified as by record owner shall remain so classified unless, one, use of such land is changed or used other than described in the application, or it's sold. We did not sell it and we have not changed one thing. I don't know where he's taken off classification.
So in other words, he's not, so he took the farm off. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how he's claiming we don't get it. Then I just, for everyone, so you have some information on what you read through. This is from the state of Connecticut. I won't need to look at it another time. I just want to highlight certain areas. And it talks about the 490 classification is so important. He doesn't see it that way. And then I have the determination should be fair and equitable manner within the statutory requirements, given due consideration to the intent and purpose of the law. The law said, you read through it another time, it says we're trying to preserve farms. And what we're getting from him is, because we went through this 5 years ago, I know you weren't the same board, and he tried to take it away, and there were lawyers and everything. And the board says, no, you're not following, so they put it back on. And we don't understand why he's picking on it. I don't know if we can have other farmers here. It's not the intent to go, I got you, haha, you didn't do it.
So what does your farm consist of? What do you have? Animals?
We have hay.
So, okay. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll just do it because I did highlight according to the state statutes intent of the land. That is the purpose, the intent of the law. So we're not getting that. Just another reading, open communication with the assessor. All I was told was, I don't care. You'll have to appeal it. There was no communication. And then another thing I highlighted, but no single factor should be used as either confirmation or rejection. I'll tell you what he's saying. I'll tell you, he said 3 different things. So anyway, and the last page again, if you look where it's highlighted, cannot be declassified by an assessor simply because productivity is diminished, the age and the health and all that kind of stuff. So what, I'm just going to give you some background information. They're saying is, even if you have 20 acres and you farm 1 acre, that doesn't take off classification. That's not our problem. That's not what he's saying our problem is. So just so you know the idea. 5 years ago, he was trying to say, well, gee, there's some woods over there, so that's not farm. They followed, thank goodness, the appeals followed this and said, no, it says states in here, they understand there's wetlands and there are woods, and it's all part of a farm. So we've had trouble before. So what we're trying, this is what he started with. First, when I went to him, he said, oh, because it's not paid. So I went to him and I said, it's being paid, but now he changed the story. Then he said, it's not paid soon enough. We're like, what do you mean soon enough? You look for, is there a time?
Yes, there is. I have it here.
Have the time of when you're supposed to be assessed?
there isn't any. And we did a state, and then of course, no, there's no time when you have to harvest pumpkins, there's no time when you have to pick corn. So when he, I think, realized, oh, there isn't anything, then he finally, the third thing he went, oh, the hay's no good. And that is ridiculous. We have Mr. Daisy. I don't know if you're familiar with Oxford. Mr. Daisy is a full-time farmer. He's been farming for 40 years. If you buy your vegetables downtown Seymour, he comes. The process doesn't take a day. You have big farm equipment first. You have to cut all the fields. It has so much to do with weather. If the weather's good, or a farmer knows, I better wait, I better do this. I can't cut it and have rain for 4 days. So we leave it up to him. We call him in May and say, do your thing. He says, no problem. But they have to cut it. Then it has to dry. So it might be a day or two. Then they come with another equipment, big stuff, and they tether it, and it has to dry. Then you wait some more. Then they come back. Sometimes they tether a second time. Then they come back and they have to rake it. Then they come back with balers. It's over a week. It takes a long time. It's a big process. It costs the time, effort. You need people. So what I'm trying to get at is then what he does is he decides when all the factors are right for him to hay. He's a full-time farmer. That's all he does. He would not put a week of effort of work and manpower and say, and take it, he takes the hay to say, oh, the hay's no good. That's ridiculous. He takes the hay because he needs the hay. He wants the hay. So I have numbers you want to call, and I think it's ridiculous, but I told him about it, like shook his head. So this particular, we've never hated this. We did hate in October, never usually that late. But the reason was there were so many things. First of all, it was a very wet spring. It kind of held things up. Gee, there's a pandemic. Farmers were definitely affected by it also. They had workers. He had a hard time getting workers, and they had a hard time if equipment broke. They had to go and try to get equipment, and then they would have to wait. And what we found was the assessor showed no consideration of the impact and hardship of small farmers in Seymour. The rest of our town did, but he didn't. We also, just so you know, we did try to work with him. That's why I documented that. I tried to call him. I tried to walk. He wanted to know nothing. All he kept saying was appeal. And so with that, I'm going to go back. I know I'm taking too long. I apologize. But we feel very, very strongly that our family has owned the farm for almost 100 years. There has never been a time we didn't pay. And I really feel like when he's saying, oh, I drove fine. Oh, yeah, I drove fine. It wasn't paid. Well, what it is, he drives by, you see probably 20, maybe, I don't know, 10% from the road. He doesn't know what's going on back here. He never bothered to ask us. He never called to say, gee, is there a problem? Is there something like nothing? He just said, it's not hanging on. I go. And so all I can say is we've always paid. The hay is good. There's nothing wrong with the hay. I think I got most of it in.
Carol,
I hope you get the gist of it. He changed 3 times. Not hay. It's hay today. The hay's no good. And he's
So,
not agricultural.
let me ask you, when did you hay?
Pardon?
When did you hay?
It's on there in October.
So you hayed in October, do you know the date?
I do have to.
Because he was there July 8th, July 29th, August 10th, September 4th, September 28th, and it was not hayed. And there is chapter 203, it does say that you have to have hay completed 6 weeks prior to the first fall frost.
Where does it say that? We never found that.
This is what he gave me.
From where?
I don't know.
Well,
Section 12-107C. Classification of land as farmland, and that's what it's saying right in here.
Say that again, section 12-107C.
Yep.
I have it in the next.
It's 3 pages though.
So to apply application for classification of land as farm and in the time limit prescribed.
Right, and so it's So he also has, how late in the year can you cut hay?
Where's that?
He did a search of some sort.
Well, that,
That's a Google search.
you know what?
Hey, I'm just going by what. So I think we should keep the farm as is.
Keep it as a farm stand.
Yes.
Yes, I
Tom,
appreciate
do you
it.
agree?
Yes.
Sandy, agree. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna keep, your personal property the same.
Okay. Can I throw in one more wrench? Only really quick, we were more concerned about the farm. He also absolutely took off on the house at the farm, which is right across from the sports complex. We have 5. He absolutely, I don't know who, they take it off. So can you also look into that?
I'll look into the 5, but I don't know if I could hold up our decision tonight.
No, but have him, but he's looking at
So,
mine.
all right, we're gonna
It's
do.
also on the farm.
Will that change the decision? Will that change?
Okay, I'll do that. Okay, so we'll let you know by mail. We'll send you a letter out, Carol. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So did we vote?
No, she said we're gonna wait on.
We only voted on the farm.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, who's up next, please? What time?
I got 7:40.
So he's next. Okay, so you're 7:40. What's your name, please?
Al Volcano.
Sal Volcano is next, and Sandy's gonna read the oath.
You solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God upon penalty of perjury. You think it's my microphone that's making that?
Okay.
I guess we have my package there.
Yes.
For the assessment, I think is a little high.
Yes.
There are a couple of factors. We'll go with the first factor that it didn't take into consideration the current condition of the house. So I was gonna do work back in 2018. So I had provided in there the statement of work that needs to be done on the house. And from that statement of work, the cost of one of them, there's extensive amount of work to be done, but it's not applicable to every condition, which was mostly improvement, which had added up about $139,000 worth of work. But the minimum amount of work that had to be done was $56,000, and it's basically taking care of the siding and all the windows. And I provided some images there of the condition of the windows and the outside of the condition of the windows and also the vinyl siding. Also, my deck was completely gone, so it had to be taken down. So what's left was just blank planks on there, and there were some images early on, and there's images taken at the time of this assessment notice on February. And there's snow on it, so you really can't see much, but you can see that the deck is not there. So that's one of the things we did take into consideration the condition of the house. There were several letters early on, going all the way back to May of 2019. They were supposed to come out and do assessments, and I'm hoping they would come and see the house because of COVID. The last conversation I had with the assessors saying, well, we don't come out anymore. So it was very hard to have them physically see it. I'd offer to take pictures, images, video, whatever they wanted for the condition of the home. The house is, I bought the house in 1989. I'm sorry, bought in 93, but it was built in 89. So it has all the original stuff that eventually now over 30 years needs to be replaced on it. There was other things that there was a discrepancy on the square footage of the house. It was a small amount that I indicated there. And they were counting space on the first floor, which is really like a foyer for going upstairs and downstairs. And it really wasn't living space because it was the extension of like an awning of where the door was. But it was a small amount that would have brought down the cost. The other part is usually assessments are based upon what is the current sale of the surrounding homes to make sure that you're paying fairly and equitably what everyone else is being assessed. And that's so I go off by the sale of homes. So on 753 South Main Street,
which is 3,604 square feet. Mine is only 2,468 square feet, sold on October 18, 2019 for $2,055. So what I'm saying is my assessment should be more in line with these homes that recently sold. Another home that was sold more recently, 748 South Main Street, which is a 2,351 square feet home, sold on October 21st, 2020 for $2,340.848. And I have two others here, 26 Colony Street Extension 28, again, 2,438 square feet, sold on 9/17/2018, $165,000. And another one sold in 8 Hayward Street, 2,420 square feet, sold on January 31st, 2020 for $249,000. Now, it's hard to get assessments of homes recently sold, and this is about within the 1 to 2 miles from the circumference of where I live. So it's kind of hard to get homes that are similar size to me that sold recently to make those comparisons. So what I'm saying is my assessment prior to that, I'm going to round up the numbers so I don't have to give you, the other digit. 182,000. It's assessed at 70% to 269, and it was raised to 212K. 70% of that was 303K. So what I'm saying is my assessment should be based on, I'll take the number that you have as your new assessment minus, that is 239K, minus 56K, which is what I'm seeing in repair, brings my new assessment at 183K, and 70% of that is 247K. The 247K is in line with the homes that were recently sold that I went off. So I'll give you those numbers again. 255K, 243K, 165K, 247K. So what I'm saying, my assessment should be 247K, which is more in line with homes that are recently been sold.
So basically, your new value, your building for a new home is $307,517. Do you see that in the field card? So what he did was he depreciated your house. So you're saying 56,450 you needed in repairs, correct?
Correct.
He depreciated it more for you. He's bringing it down to 67,617.
In repairs?
That's what he brought it. He depreciated it at $239,900. Subtract the new house value. So he's given you more off than what you have. You have 56, he has 67.
And that's based on what value on?
The new value. That's 307,000. And it depreciated, the depreciation value was 239. So he subtracted that from the new, came up with 67, which is taking off more than what you wanted, because you had 56,000 taken off.
And that's the bare minimum I gave. I mean,
He's giving you 67. He's giving you 67,000 for repairs.
Okay.
You had 56.
And what was the starting number that you started with when my house was appraised at?
It's saying it's a cost market value of 307,000.
300.
That would be new.
307.
Building value new, 307,517.
Okay, 307K new, and 70% of that is where you got the 212K from.
239.9. He depreciated it, and then he brought it. See, the 67 is what you would need for repairs. You had 56,000 for repairs. So he's saying that there won't be a change.
Where you took the 67 off, the initial 307K?
Yes, he depreciated it. He subtracted the 239.9 depreciation.
I don't have the calculator in front of me, but wouldn't that bring down my cost similar to what I had? That is my previous assessment of 182 from an assessment of 269.
He said he gave you 67,000 for work to be done in depreciation.
And it still leaves my assessment at 212K.
I don't have that. I don't know.
He's using this number.
And this number, not this number. See, he's using this
Right.
number.
Right.
He's talking about this number. 12.
That's what Joe wrote.
Yeah.
He's giving you more money in repairs than what you originally wanted.
And I appreciate that, but that doesn't bring down the assessment of my property then. I'm not sure where, if it's got 307 as what it would sell new, and minus 67.
No, minus 239.9, which is the depreciation value. And you subtract those two numbers and you get 67,617, which is what is needed in repairs. That's what I was told.
So did my assessment go down or was it the same?
I don't know. He didn't really say that. He just said there would be no change.
No change in this. In the new assessment.
Right.
Well, I wish that they would have the previous assessment was.
Mhm. I mean, I can only go by the information I was given. You know, I don't have any more information than that.
So I'm just doing some quick math here. If the house was to sell new, like you're saying, 307K, minus 67 repair. So now my house value is at 240. You take 70% of that, and that should be my new assessment. I can't see how a 240, 70% of that still gives you 212. I mean, I'm not doing the math with a calculator, and I'm just kind of doing rough numbers in my head. I mean, if you think on my cell phone, do the math, say exactly what the new assessment should be, if that's what you're saying.
Oops, sorry.
7 minus 67 equals 240 times 0.7, 168. At 168, I don't know, I'm not sure what you
You see what he did. So the 67,000 he subtracted from 307, which gives you the 240 roughly.
Right, and
That's your depreciation value.
right, okay. So your assessment is usually based on 70% of the sale.
Right.
Right.
So 167.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So there you
My
go.
new assessment is 167. I'll be happy with that.
That's what I see.
Okay, so if that's what my new assessment is, then I'm okay.
That's how I just did the math too, just what you did. Are you seeing that, Tom?
Which numbers did you use? The 307? Did you still use that one?
I just took 67 from the 307 to get 239 and then multiply by 70%. Is that what you did? 167, 930, right?
Yeah. That's what I got here.
Because like I said, he gave you more off for depreciation than what you
And I
originally
appreciate
asked.
that because, and you can see the statement of work I had there. I only pick and choose the bare minimum, which was the windows and the siding. There's other things that need to be done, like the deck has to be redone, the images are there. So there are other work.
So he's giving you almost $70,000 in repairs. So
And I, all the things I wanted to do was 139K.
so now you got a money in your pocket.
I did not have that kind of money to do that repair, and I still have to
So-
do repair.
That's what we have.
Okay, well, I'm okay with that, if we're all agreement on the math of what the new assessment based on, 70% of the numbers that we just discussed.
It sounds like that's the way the math went. I'm hoping I'm correct, so we'll go with that.
All right,
All right,
I'm good with that. Thank you.
thank you. We'll send you a letter and you'll get it in a week to 10 days.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do this on 67, 9:30.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, 3-0. What? Yeah.
13 doesn't.
Do you have your assessments?
Oh, no. Oh, yes, if that 13 doesn't,
Yes.
Yeah. 212, 590. Okay, moving on. Who is next? Okay, what's your name? Please? Oh, Mr. Bennett?
14 Stanley Drive.
Mr. Bennett? Thomas Bennett, yes. Okay,
Sandy, you're up.
Sandy's gonna read you the great oath. Thanks, Tom.
Do you solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury?
I do.
Okay, sir.
All right, I received the information sheet from Vision Government Solutions, and looking it over, I found that they had me listed for 1.5 bathrooms. I only have one. I contacted them and they lowered the assessment to half that. Second thing, later on, I reviewed the information sheet, and I see that they have me listed for 1,188 square feet of living space. My house is 44 by 26, which brings it down to 1,144 square feet. So, further, I pulled all the sheets on the other houses, similar to mine on Stanley Drive. My house was the first house on Stanley Drive. All the houses were constructed by the same builder. And looking at all the houses in conjunction with mine, seems to be a wide spread on the assessment of appraised value of the houses. And looking at the various components of the houses, I see that there's houses that appear to have much more in them than mine. So my question is, what makes my house worth so much more? As an example, 4 Stanley Drive is $5,000 plus my house. It's got 1.5 baths. It's living space is 1,746 square feet, which is 218 square feet more than my house. It has air conditioning as my house. It has 6 rooms, same as my house. It's a bath and a half. And it has aluminum siding as opposed to vinyl siding in my house. So that's a $5,000 difference between the two residents. 11 Stanley Drive is 6,700 less than mine. It has 2.5 baths. And that has 84 square feet of living space less than mine, has vinyl siding, has 7 rooms, and has 2.5. Which again seems a big difference between 2 houses. That house has compared to what my house. And I have several others listed here. Go through each one for you.
So let me just say, we use outside measurements.
Those are measurements.
We don't measure the inside, we measure the complete outside.
That's what the measure.
That's-
That's the measurements on paper of Vision Solutions. or whatever it is.
Okay, so basically we use a ratio testing method. And what it is that we take the assessment and we divide it by the value and we come up with a percentage. And you came up with 73.8%, and the range is 63 to 77%. And that allows us to see that we are right on target with your assessment. So there would be no change, meaning we are right on the numbers. So that's how we do the calculation. It's called the ratio testing method. And it factors in the calculation, meaning that's how we know we're correct on the assessment.
All right. When I compare this to the other houses, why is there such a wide difference?
I'm just saying that we're using outside measurements. We're not measuring from the inside. So it's going to be bigger square footage.
Well, I'm using your measurement, the measurement supplied by the company that did the appraisals.
You have to just go by this ratio that we use for our method. You know, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. This is what I have for my notes from the assessor. That's what he told me he used. And he's got the figures right here. So I don't have any other, I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, this is going to be a no change in my opinion, meaning that's how he checks the work to show that he's in range.
In other words, a house the same size as mine with a bath and a half more than I have is worth less money than my house.
Is it this, when was it built?
It was built after mine. Mine's the first one on the street. That Four Stanley Drive was built in 1968. 11 Stanley Drive was built in 1969. My house was built in 1965.
It looks like your assessment went down
No, not 40,000. 43,000. 43,000.
You have the prior assessment? Here.
I'm looking at this as comparing apples to apples. Same house, same size.
There's 2 of them. Why do we have 2? November and then December.
Oh,
Matches on the
because
field card.
he must have called and they didn't change it.
It went
They
down.
changed it by $1,000,
It went down.
$1,000. I did
Yeah.
the same thing. They kept mine the same, even though I called and disagreed with it.
Mhm.
They didn't take anything off of mine. They just left it the same. So the 12 years on,
So it went down 1,000.
to be in $1,000.
Yeah. So you're assessed at 188, sir. 188,300.
That's as a result of eliminating the half bath that we didn't have.
Mhm. And that's something that you have to, yes, you have to, call about that. When they came out to do the appraisal, the assessment rather, vision appraisal, did they come in the house?
No,
Because a lot of times they'll just, if they're not allowed or they don't get into the house, they're gonna kind of guess at it, and they usually appraise higher when they can't get in the house. So it's in everyone's best interest to allow them in your house to really see what you have.
They weren't allowed in the house.
I'm just saying, as a general rule,
Yeah.
you know, be available if you can, make an appointment or whatever.
well, they didn't call or anything else.
I know they did for me, because I was home and they were on my property, and
I still want to get back, there's having 2.5 baths or 1.5 baths doesn't make the price of the house higher if the square footage, the siding, air conditioning, everything else is similar. That house is still less value than mine.
what's the difference in the two houses you were saying?
Well, I have more than 2 houses. I've got one house that's 25,000 less than mine, has 2 bathrooms. Another one is 17,000, another 11,500, 10,400,
Do you have,
9,000.
do you have an appraisal of your house?
No, I don't have an appraisal.
Because that's
But
really.
the houses are all built by the same builder on the same street.
Mhm.
Your house is 1,500 square feet or? Oh, no, you said,
My house is 1,500.
Joe said no change.
Same siding. I expect to see a little difference because the size of the land is close, but they're not exact. But when I see this much of a spread, I have to question why.
Okay, so we will discuss it, Tom, and we will send you a letter in the mail.
Yeah, I mean, hey, there's a reasonable explanation. I can take.
I understand. I just have to keep moving, so.
When I see it, there's not the correct, thing on the interior of the house. You have to wonder.
I understand.
How many other errors are there, if there are?
Right.
All right, when can I expect to hear?
A week, you'll get a letter.
All right, and then my last option is to have the house appraised.
Well, if you had something in writing to show that your house was worth whatever it was worth for us, that would be ideal. But not, it's beyond, it's after the fact now, so. Yeah, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for coming in.
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Night.
Good night.
Hello there.
How are you?
Fine. State your name, please.
My name is Edward Litwa.
Edward Litwa is next on the agenda, and Sandra's gonna read the oath to you.
Do you solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or upon penalty or perjury?
So basically, I got similar
fluctuation. I think the assessment for my house, 93 Delaware Avenue, is a little too high. So my house is got 5 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms. It's only 2,384 square feet. Was built in 1894. So a long time ago. That was probably the first house on the street, one of the first houses on the street. And I got another similar houses in Seymour. This one on Cedar Street, 7880, was sold on 2020 for $325. And there is 6 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, 3,200 square feet. And the tax assessment is much less. There's another one, Church Street, 4 bedroom, 2 bathrooms, 2,800. And the tax assessment is much less, 156. I'd like to pop another one.
Do you have a picture of your house in here?
Just one picture, the front. And basically, there's nothing on the house. Where it was built to the same condition, same porch. It's
So-
just new roof, vinyl windows. There's no fire pit inside. There's no tiles, no hardwood floor, and what else? The basement is unfinished. The attic is unfinished. And we pay much more than everybody else. Even the house on the street is like there's another house right here, 8 Woodside Avenue. Was sold in 2020, July, for $365,000. And there's 7 rooms, 3 bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms, and paying much less. It's paying $5,500, 153 assessment.
I know your house. I know it well. I admired it. I think you did a great job.
I'm just trying
It's
to
beautiful.
keep a good condition over there.
Yes.
Basically, everything, whatever was done years ago, still is in the same condition. Just try to, like keep nice shape.
So,
Nothing changed.
so what the assessor recommends is that your comps don't justify your value,
Yes.
meaning the pictures that you have, like the comps that you gave us, the different properties, they don't justify your value.
And also, I spoke with the people from the vision company. Nobody showed up over there. Once again, they sent me letter. Nobody showed up over there. When I spoke with them a couple of weeks later, when I received the letter from town, they said they did by satellite. And
Yeah.
I said, so just come to the house, see what is inside, everything's open, it's nothing to hide. No, we're not doing that because it's COVID and stuff like that. So I gotta pay more than everybody else on the street.
Your house is nice though. The more that you do to your house, the more it's gonna be worth. So, you have everything new in there.
Actually, there's nothing new. The floor, the carpet.
Well, the outside is all new, the siding, the doors, the windows, it's really nice.
So basically the siding, so what's the volume of the siding we're talking about?
Well, would you pay at least 15, 20,000 to side that? Easy.
That was done 2012, I believe so.
Right, I could see that it was remodeled in 10-12, it says. Remodeled entire dwelling. You
No,
did
not
everything.
entire, Not entire. The
That's
first
what
floor-
that's what this says here.
That's wrong. The first floor was done by somebody else. Was done, I don't know when it was done,
and basically, like I said, there is no floor, there is no hardwood floor, it's just carpet.
So in other words, if they can't get in the house, they're gonna guesstimate.
Right.
And like I said before, it's in your own best interest to let them in, because they're gonna see what you have. I mean, some people don't like to let people in, I understand that. But sometimes they guesstimate high.
And
So,
that's why they figure how, because it's nice outside, could be something inside. You know, I'm rather to have somebody over there to see it. Just like I said, there is no even tiles on the floor. It's just linoleum. So I gotta pay more. There's no fireplace. There's a chimney, but there's no fireplace. The chimney is over 100 years old. So it's got a crack in it, so I can't use it.
no. Yeah, so basically your comps are not justifying, like I said, your $250,000 value.
Yeah.
So you went from oil to gas heat?
Yes, yes.
That's new in 2012. Your second floor bathroom was remodeled.
The last evaluation.
No, I'm just saying what his remodel is, what he remodeled.
But that should have been noted on the last evaluation.
Okay, so we will let you know by mail. We'll send you out a letter in a week to 10 days with our decision.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in. All right, where do we begin? You're together, right? Okay, thank you. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Okay. The thing is, Wendy, they could have stopped the people coming into houses.
Last year, did they do it?
Way back. So nobody was allowed.
Right. Okay, so what do we want to do with this? So Joe's saying that this guy that just left.
His went up 54,000.
Right.
There's a couple.
Yeah.
That I'd like a table and,
Hey, Bri, it's Wendy.
Yes,
Sorry to
ma'am.
bother you.
I'm here. No bother.
Oh, there's a couple that we have no idea how to decide, because this is like, yeah, our first time around, stuff that we weren't prepared to answer. Do we get to table this, as Tom asked, or do we have to make a decision tonight?
As long as you're within your deadline for making decisions, you're going to reconvene another meeting to talk about it some more.
The next meeting is not till next Thursday, where there are more appeals.
You can add, if you're not prepared to do something, I don't see why you couldn't continue it to next Thursday if you want more time to review the documents they gave you or to think about it.
We're gonna meet Joe on Wednesday next week. We could ask him then and then decide.
Who's John?
Joe.
Joe Kuziak?
yes.
Yeah, if you're gonna, I would have, if you're gonna have more information, I would probably do it at the meeting. You may want him at the meeting to provide that information to you. You gotta base your decision on it.
He won't come to the meeting.
He won't come to the meeting.
All right, so
we'll just table it to another date then for a few of these.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can just table it. You can either postpone it to a date certain, being the next meeting, or just table it, and then you can take it from the table anytime at a meeting. So you don't have to table it to a certain date. You could just table the item.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so which ones do we have to do?
So
the only thing I think is, so next week, we're starting again at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Appeals going right through like freaking 7:30, 8 o'clock next week, so it's either all these at the end of next week's meeting. The other thing is, I just don't know what the time frame is.
Okay, all right, so which ones do we have to
All right,
do? Which did
do
we
you want?
approve?
Which ones do you need us to do here?
Well, Kitty Town is probably just gonna be on automatic denial.
Perfect.
because he did not
Okay.
show up.
Yeah.
Alterio, you are denying. You did him.
Which one?
Ulterior tonight. Okay.
The, Maria Kuhn, you went to 250 with the penalty.
Yep.
Roxanne Stevens, you are denying both.
Which one?
Roxanne Stevens. You're denying both. Total sports will be an automatic denial.
He didn't show.
Because he did not show. I'm assuming you might want to talk to me about Joseph Brennan.
We have to talk about Brennan? I thought we were gonna deny him. That was the old guy, right? He's not landlocked, Joe said, specifically told me that.
But he said it's lot 14 or something, not number 14. And he said,
Joe said,
the guy from the zone.
oh, Joseph Brenner, you mean the Wilton guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe said he's in range, no change. 'Cause he did the math,
Yep, that's the land.
19 chat, yeah. Real estate.
But he's,
He's not landlocked.
according to Looker, he was.
Well, that's the other
That's
thing.
fine, that's something that,
We got table.
that's something we have to.
There were a lot of mistakes,
Let's
but I
table,
checked on my own.
That's something we have to talk to Joe about.
we got a table.
Joe tells us no, this person is yes.
Exactly.
We need to, we can ask him, we need some criteria to go by this guy, and then this guy gets the same kind of
Who
criteria.
does Bob Looker's job?
Hey, Roar? It's Wendy.
Yep.
What's Bob Looker's job now?
Who has Bob Looker's job? A guy named Keith Rosenfeld. We have a town planner, so if you have a question for the town planner, we can get it to the town planner.
All right, we're gonna table Brenner.
Yeah.
Go ahead, here.
Yeah. That one, yeah.
Yeah.
If I went in, four went in. This way. I don't know. Four went in, they were, he said he did them all the same day. The first showed up that way.
That's right. That's something thing. I wasn't yet.
We don't know that the date, we don't know the filing date was.
That's the problem. I don't know.
We don't know.
That's another thing.
He's swearing in his broker, lawyer, and he said that they all went in together. I just don't understand how. One, you know.
So we're questioning Brenner,
Yep.
Malone?
No.
No,
That's
not Malone.
They both, we gotta go.
And that whole thing with the lease, see, I don't understand that. The leasing and
The 99.
we bought it
They
with the
should've-
lease.
I missed it. I should have asked.
Yeah, the 99-year thing happened, was stupid to lose money on that, that's.
And see, that's something. Yeah, that's a question for me. The fact that that whole section is in a lease.
All right, who else, baby doll?
What you want to do is in this case, going to make a formal, yes, you have to do it,
Bar,
bar
yes.
investigation, then you have to do a, make a motion. in a second.
You say.
Did we get Charles Buckman?
Hold on, we're doing Carol
Oh.
Sapinski. I'm in favor, keep the farm. Does everybody agree?
Yeah.
Who's the second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right, what do we do?
3-0 in their favor. What?
Personal property?
What?
Carol Sapinski?
Personal, I think we're keeping that. No change, right? Sam? No change, right?
Get out of that one.
Right.
And who wants to do, you know, one, two, and all of them?
We're denying 9, the Girls of Newski's real estate on the house. Anybody in favor?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on. No discussion. Buckman's, I gave him $500 per car.
And what was he,
8 cars.
8 cars?
All in favor?
Aye.
3-0.
Yeah, how about Sal? Saying for Sal, you can go from 12, and 167. Sal,
Sal Volcano.
are you comfortable with doing that? 167, 930.
Did we say 231? Is that the one? No.
Whoever began
Yeah,
it.
can you say that again, please, Karen?
You just came, you just here, we're gonna do it.
Yeah, it's a thick one, it's a thick one.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. So yes, we're dropping him, right?
You're comfortable with doing that? You're gonna go from 212,590.
Yes.
230, yeah, 231, what, 90, 239?
The one that was 239, right, but you said 212.
Yeah.
Is there any discussion?
No discussion, all in favor, aye, 3-0.
What about, Mr. Dennis that was just here? Outstanding clause?
That one, that went up a lot.
Down to 40,000?
I like to speak.
Yeah.
It went up 50,000.
I like this mark.
54,000 it went up. Wait, is that the one?
That was 40,000.
43,000.
189. I keep finding this mess. Uh, 189. It went up almost $50,000.
That's.
My mother's house is bigger than this, and it only went up 20.
Okay, so we're gonna do.
Who was it?
Ben,
Yeah,
Stanley Black.
for more information.
Looking for more information? Is that what you said?
Yeah, we're gonna put them on the table.
So we're gonna say Bennett.
The thing is, we're gonna be told that it's in line.
Yeah.
It says right here, it's in line.
That's what I said.
And that time we have, I'm not.
Oh, because he's 40,000.
Yeah, but when we find out, we'll have to make a decision.
I say we make a decision, because we're not gonna, it's not gonna change. Joe's gonna keep it the same.
So then we just, no change then. All in favor?
No.
We've got that.
Yeah, but,
That's
yeah, but you're saying Joe's not gonna budge, so why?
So why can't we make a decision?
Oh,
That's what I'm
okay.
saying. Let's-
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying, yeah, let's, get our, speak,
All right, so we'll table him.
Last
We'll
time-
table Bennett.
No, we have to make a decision on him,
Yeah.
and then vote on it at another time.
Yeah,
After we get more information.
from Joe. Yeah.
Well, when he said, because I did read this one. And I said, wow, what a difference, one bath, I mean, I've only got one bathroom.
Okay. So what are we?
I mean, my
doing?
house is smaller than this.
No, we'll table him.
Yeah.
Mary Jane. Table.
Edward, what would be your last one?
Yes, so I would say we don't change him because Joe said his comps won't justify. So, I don't-
So here's, I'd like to know what it was before this. Because he really didn't do anything to this house except for
You look like you did a lot.
Yeah, but he didn't do, but that was in the last of two evaluations.
It says everything you did in 2012. New roof.
Right.
New second floor bath, you converted oil to gas, that's expensive. Remodeled.
So since 2015, the only thing he's done is he's done nothing.
I'd like to know if you're in range, but Joe didn't do that math. So do you want to table this one too? We'll table this. All in favor of table? Three to nothing.
So we're tabling Bennett, Litwa, and Zeppos.
You have a lot, guys.
And then,
We're tabling, Zipowski.
Yeah, she's the farm.
It's table one of them.
The farm.
Yeah, we're getting more information.
well, the farm you said, you want.
We said.
Oh, we're doing the farm. It's her other property.
No, we said the property was going through.
No.
We voted
Giving
on
her,
that,
leaving her the farm.
Hold on.
Right.
but we're denying the other.
Yes,
That's.
Okay, so we don't have to do anything more on that.
so we don't need to table something else. All right.
It was Bennett, it was the pizza place.
Yep.
The pizza place. The bank.
Oh, the pizza place with the handing in.
And
Right.
Brenner.
And
Right.
then just that one,
Yeah, I think we should say. We don't know how we can do it. We just did nothing.
Well,
They don't have anything in writing, guys. They don't have any proof that, you know, this is what Joe wants, proof on paper. So I would say we keep them the way it is.
you know, I really do wish we had, okay, we do, his went up, his assessment went up 40,000.
Hello?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, you know, criteria. What kind of criteria
Well,
do we have to go back?
that's why we have this rating method. That's what he uses, to keep the rating.
That doesn't seem to be fair. I mean, when I called and asked Vision, he said, because the house is down the street sold. I said, that house is smaller than mine. And, but, so because somebody offered 255 for their house, they got it, and I suffer.
Okay, so what do you want to do with the loan then?
Yeah, can we like drop it 10,000? Or 15,000? Drop it 15,000? I mean, I would say drop it 20. 18, my mother's went up 20,000, her house is 15,000 square feet. 15,000. 1,500. Oh, God. I'm answering, yeah. No. Then I say drop it 20.
Okay.
I make a motion to drop 3 Spring Street.
Old.
You mean the new,
Give me whatever the new is that you're going from.
from 191,100.
Now we're gonna go to.
What did I say, 20?
Yep.
So it's 171, 100.
Okay, who's on the second? Any discussion?
No discussion, all in favor? Aye.
So then this total sales never showed up, so that's.
Keep it automatic.
We are done, right?
Right, so the question's going to be, do you want to add these on to the next meeting?
I would say no. Too many of them, right? Well, we were going really well, and then all of a sudden, like, people show up.
Why don't we, release, why don't we get more information? And then we can, maybe put them in a third meeting?
Is the third meeting on lot?
You know,
No, you're less, you still have farms then. Maybe less,
Hey, Brian, it's Caroline.
You don't blame them, I need a drink.
Brian?
So here, when we add it to the third meeting, we could just say, we're voting this and this and this, and we're not really, right? For those four.
right, so what I'll do is,
Put it on the agenda.
yes, I'll just double check this. The agenda has been filed already, but I think I'm going by the other meetings that we do, I think, to get to regular meeting, we'll be able to add on a table item. So, I'll just check with Brian to make sure I'm doing it right. And I'll give you the agenda for maybe that third. Just make sure we'll do it. This stuff maybe doesn't work.
just figure it out.
Right, I'll see you.
As long as you have no other things to discuss or talk about, then yeah, go ahead and-
Meeting adjourned at
8:58.
8:58, meeting adjourned.
Meeting
Thank you,
adjourned.
everyone. Thank you,
Who makes
guys.
the second? Second.
Yeah.